keeping the groggers, let me remind all of you that if you have a costume on your way out tonight, we have a prize. There'll be a prize at the door for all of you who come up here and parade in your costumes with us, the children, and then go out through the rear downstairs after the service. We have a prize. And for all the grown-ups who are in costume, only the grown-ups who are in costume, we have also a grown-up prize for you. Grown-up prize that comes from...
Who is named Mordecai? That's all Megillah. Bad news, Haman has for the Jews.
So they pray for a happier day.
They will feel Haman had his hand that's all Megillah. A plea to Vashti to come show off her stuff. Vashti says, perceive she's hot in the butt. The king says enough is enough. To the winds he goes caution.
Please pass the pumpkin caution.
The plot really starts to get hot.
Haman rang, says the Jews must all hang.
They are blue. What will Mordecai do? The bema is a stage.
The stage
is all set for the Megillah.
He needs a feminine chum.
So he finds pretty Esther, and they move to Westchester. Tonight, we said everything right.
With the show that will make your heart glow.
So sit back, we are on the right track. The bema is the stage is all set for the Megillah.
And now for the cast of characters. First, the part they wanted me to play, but I wouldn't do it because he doesn't have a horse, King Ahasuerus. Next, the prettiest little filly to come down the Damascus Turnpike in a month of Friday nights, Queen Esther. Every movie's gotta have a hero, and we got ours. Here he is, Mordecai. And now, the role that every character actress in Hollywood wanted to play. Here she is, guys. Vashti! And now, that low-down, no-good sidewinder, here he is, Haman! And now, the entire company! And now, meet my good friend, Shirley Temple.
Isn't this fun? And isn't this exciting? The Megillah is my favorite story. Well, next to Uncle Wiggily and Billy Goat Gruff. let me tell you what happens. Once upon a time, in a country called Persia, King Ahasuerus was throwing the biggest and the longest party. And all the princes and beautiful people were there. And the king, he really wanted to show off his queen, named Vashti, because she was really awesome. So he told Vashti to appear at the party, but she just wasn't in the mood. Well, excuse me. And she refused to appear at the party. And the king was really upset. I mean, really. And he didn't know what to do. So he said,
Bring me my wise men.
The wise men!
Wise men, wise men.
You called me, Melissa?
These are my wise men?
Certainly, we're your wise men. In fact, we're the Stephen wise men.
My queen Vashti refused to appear before the princes. I'd like to know what to do.
What Vashti did is an insult to every husband in the kingdom.
That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
We must banish Vashti so the women of Persia know their place.
You can send Vashti up to my place, boss.
So be it done. Vashti is banished from my kingdom. I knew you guys would know what to do. You're wonderful.
Who can give the answers?
Who can give the answers?
From all of design.
From all of design.
Conquer every problem, then make everything fine. The wise men can.
The wise men can.
The wise men can.
The wise men can.
The wise men can, cause they don't know a thing which makes the voters feel good. Who can take the deficit?
Who can take the deficit?
Study all the facts.
Study all the facts. Make it come out
Even without raising the tax. The wise men can.
The wise men can.
The wise men can.
The wise men can.
The wise men can, cause they don't know a thing which makes the voters feel good. The wise men scan every little plan. We're confident and we're brainy. Diligent and zany. Absolutely cockamamie. Who can take the left wing?
Who can take the left wing?
Mix it with the right.
Mix it with the right.
Avoid the dirty L-word and avoid the nasty fight. The wise men can.
The wise men can.
The wise men can.
The wise men can.
The wise men can, cause we don't know the thing which makes the voters feel good. And the voters feel good, cause the wise men say they should.
So Vashti has to leave the palace. You know, I think the king should have took her and put her over his knee. That's what I used to do to Maureen O'Hara. Well, anyway, let's say goodbye to Vashti.
So long, boys. I'm off to catch the next train to New Jersey.
What's it all about? Vashti? Won't you just give me one little kiss?
You animal.
I hear the cottonwoods whispering above. Vashti, Vashti, let us make love.
Another animal.
A song of love is a sad song. I'm Vashti, and low.
And another animal. Oh, spare me. Mother told me there'd be days like this.
Vashti, am I a fool without a mind? Or have I merely been too blind to realize? Oh, Vashti, Why don't you kindly try me out for a sigh?
Hands off, animal.
Hey there, Vashti girl, you and I could make it to the moon. Since you left the king, it's not too soon to give me a try. I love you.
You should live so long. Animal. You're all animals. And I won't talk to these animals. Every man's the same. They only have one thing that's on their mind. I'll never argue with a lawyer, cheat with an accountant. I'm leaving that kind of stuff behind. I will not talk to these animals, play their silly games, sleep with them, and have a bunch of kids. I have to answer all their wishes, cook and do the dishes, cope with their big egos and small ids. If I pretend each night to have a headache, it will drive them absolutely nuts. Each night they ask you, ain't my dinner ready yet? I say, of course, my pet. Cold cuts. I must confer with my female friends. We're not animals. Men with all their hang-ups make us crazed. So we won't talk to these animals, walk with these animals. We will only balk at these animals until their consciousness is raised. We'll walk to these animals. Every man's the same. They only have one thing that's on their mind. I'll never argue with a lawyer, cheat with an accountant. I'm leaving that kind of stuff behind. I will not talk to these animals, play their silly games, sleep with them, and have a bunch of kids. I'd have to answer all their wishes, cook and do the dishes, cope with their big egos and small ids. If I pretend each night to have a headache, it will drive them absolutely nuts. Each night they ask you, ain't my dinner ready yet? I say, of course, my pet. Cold cuts. I must confer with my female friends. We're not animals. Men with all their hang-ups make us crazed. So we won't walk with these animals, talk to these animals. We will only balk at these animals until their consciousness is raised.
Okay, pilgrims, hold on to your saddles, because here she is, the one and only Mae West.
So the king is shy of one queen. So he decides to hold a beauty contest and choose the loveliest lass in the land to be his queen. So he summons all the fair young virgins. What a kinky king. And after he's seen them all, he chooses. May I have the envelope, please? Thank you. Esther!
It ain't too late to change your mind, boss.
But the king is in love with Esther, and he gives her a beautiful diamond ring as an engagement present.
Oh, Esther, what a beautiful ring. Goodness, that's the biggest diamonds I ever saw.
Goodness had nothing to do with it. So the king and Esther are married and dance off into the sunset. Ladies and gentlemen, Esther Rogers and Ahasuerus Estelle.
Heaven, Persian heaven. looked in Esther's eyes and I could hardly speak. To think that Vashti made a wimp of me last week. Now it's me and Esther dancing cheek to cheek.
Could have married a doctor, or a lawyer, or a scholar who's a whiz at math or Greek. To be an artist's wife would also be quite chic. But to marry the king of Persia is unique.
We could live in the city or the country by a creek.
But to live in a Persian palace is definitely unique.
We could go out shopping to a Madison Ave boutique.
But having a royal tailor is much, much more unique.
Dance with me, I'm on my arms
About you,
the charm
about you, will carry me through to the palace. I live in a palace, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. To think I almost married a pickle man last week.
Now it's me and Esther dancing cheek to cheek.
Now some wives have an au pair girl or a maid in once a week, but I have 7 serving girls, and that is quite unique.
Some guys have a hostess who throws parties very chic, but I have a fair young virgin, and that's definitely unique. Dance with me, I'm on my arms. The charm will carry me to heaven, Persian heaven. As we twist and turn and dip until we're weak, but we both have found the happiness we seek. As I dance with my Shayna Bagel,
Do you think he robbed the cradle?
as we dance together, bringing body to cheek.
Don't you just love Esther? Isn't she pretty? Hey, isn't King Ahasuerus handsome? What a romantic story. Can you stand it? It's so exciting. But now comes the scary part. First, Mordecai learns about a plot to kill the king. So he tells his niece Esther, and Esther tells the king, and the plotters are caught, hung, and what Mordecai did is written up in the King's Chronicle, and Mordecai is given a job at the king's gate. But then, Haman, don't you hate him, is made chief of all the princes. And Haman, don't you hate him, orders everyone to bow down to him. And all the king's servants bow down to him. Except for Mordecai. And Mordecai and Haman, don't you hate him? Ask Mordecai why he won't bow down to him. And Mordecai says, because I am a Jew. And Haman, don't you hate him? Say it.
Jews won't bow down to me. That's okay. I know what to do about Jews. Come on, guys. strange in your neighborhood. Who are you gonna call? Jew busters. If the Jews act bad and it don't look good, who are you gonna call? Jew busters. I ain't afraid of no Jews. I am not afraid of the Jews. If you tell them clear and they won't bow down, who can you call? Jew busters. If they slur your name all over the town, who can you call? Jew busters. I ain't afraid of no Jews. I ain't afraid of no Jews. Who are you gonna call? Jew busters. If you're all alone, pick up the phone and call Jew busters. I ain't afraid of no Jews. I hear they have one God. Ooh. I ain't afraid of no Jews. Yeah, 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 yeah. Busting makes me feel good. Oh! Who you gonna call? Jew busters. Yeah, I think you'd better call Jew busters. Louder, I can't hear you. Who you gonna call? Jew busters. One more time. Who you gonna call? I ain't afraid of no Jews. Yeah.
I think it's time to call the cavalry. Wait a minute, maybe we should call Rambo. I don't know. Where's my trumpet? Where's my horsey? Where's my horse? Anyway, I think that the guy to call in time of trouble is the best police inspector in the whole world, Inspector Clouseau.
It don't look good for the Jews. Of course, if Cato was here, he would know what to do. I think that this is a very bad thing that Haman did to tell the king that all the Jews of the kingdom must hang. Oh, isn't that terrible? But when Mordecai hears this, he puts on sackcloth and ashes and goes about the kingdom hollering doom and gloom, gloom and doom. And it looks pretty bad because I think it is overcast and there is a 99% chance of rain.
And now, meet my good friend, Jimmy Cagney.
Haman, you dirty rat. You're gonna get yours. So Esther is secluded from the palace and don't know from nothing. So Mordecai gets word through Esther, through one of the maids, and tells her, Esther, you must either confront the king and save the Jews, or die. And Shirley Temple Kid is right. This is getting scary. So Esther decides she's going to confront the king. So she goes before the king, and the king holds out his golden scepter to Esther. And Esther tells the king that she is Jewish, and that her uncle Mordecai is Jewish. And then Haman, who dirty rat, wants to kill all the Jews, even though they're good guys, even though they won't bow down. So Haman, you dirty rat. So Haman, you dirty rat. Yes. Thank you very much. The king reads in the Chronicle, or in Variety, one or the other, how Haman saved his life. So he hangs Haman. Once put him in the chair. He doesn't have a chair. So he hangs Haman on the gallows. And Haman, you dirty rat, had built for the Jews.
What's your name? You know, you really know how to hurt a guy. Now, first of all, this is the Stephen Wise Free Synagogue. You're supposed to be against things like capital punishment. You can't have your Humakash, and they need it too, folks. Second of all, those bloggers and that bullying is driving me crazy. Cut it out. And third of all, you've got my name wrong. When I was a kid at home, my mom and dad didn't call me Haman, they called me Haim. My teachers at school all called me Haim. And my friends, well, my friend, called me Haim. So let's get it right. Haim, if I'm gonna die forever, you gotta get the right name. Haim, please don't you bother together. Each time that you hear my name, Haim, I'd like to be a big hero. That's not the case, what a shame, Haim. Nobody calls me Haman. People remember my name. Remember, 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 remember. If I'm gonna die forever, you've gotta get the right name, Haim. Please do not bother together. Each time that you hear my name, Haim, I'd like to be a big hero. That's not the case, what a shame, Haim. Nobody calls me Haman. People remember my name. Remember, 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 remember. People remember my name. Haim!
Imagine the nerve of that Haman fellow, huh? But now that Haman is hung, the people of Persia, the Persian Jews, are all thanking Mordechai, and they are thanking King Ahasuerus, and they are thanking Queen Esther, and of course, they are thanking heaven.
Thank heaven.
Thanks, heaven. Thanks, heaven. Thanks, heaven. Thanks, heaven. For Mordecai. Without him, we'd be down on our knees. Thanks, heaven. For Mordecai. We love to give his virgin cheeks a squeeze. The biggest star from Sodom to Gomorrah. Oh, it's a treat to see him eating Kalahara. Thank heaven for Mordecai. Thank heaven, he's so swell. He makes us gush, he makes us bell. Without him, we were doing so well. Thank heaven for Mordecai. What will Persian Jews do? Thank heaven for Mordecai. Or if we even do the old soft shoe.
The Persians here are giving us conditions. They turned out to be worse than the Egyptians.
For Mordecai. We think he's Zulala, he is our boy Abdullah. Without him, what would Persian Jews do?
You know he is much cuter than Dukakis. In his new job, we wish him lots of marvelous. Thank heaven for Mordecai. We think he's Ulala, he is our boy Abdullah. Without him, what would Persian Jews? Without him, what would Persian Jews? Without him, what would Persian Jews do?
So Mordecai is the big hero. That's the part I should have played. After all, I look more Jewish than Sylvester Stallone. Anyway, the king wants to honor Mordecai. He wants to honor him. So he says,
Mordecai, you saved my life and you saved Queen Esther's life. For that, I'm going to make you the keeper of my palace. No, that's not good enough. I'm going to make you my prime minister. No, that's not good enough either. I know. I am going to make you my chief executive officer.
so Mordecai became the world's first CEO. That's a little known fact in history I bet you didn't know. Another little known fact can be found in Bartlett's famous quotations, along with Patrick Henry's "Give me liberty or give me death," Martin Luther King's "Free at last, thank God Almighty, you're free at last," Ellen Matt's "You're singing off key," Bob Cohen's "No waiting in the library or the classroom," and of course, top of the palace mob. it was Mordecai who said those stirring and inspirational words.
Give me my freedom, or I'll spit in your eye. Give me my freedom, or I'll spit in your eye. Give me my freedom, or I'll spit in your eye. Give me my freedom or I'll spit in your eye. Give me my freedom or I'll spit in your eye. Hello, my name is Mordecai, that says I am a Jew. It's not a very common name, just given to a few. So if one day you need a hand, I'll tell you what to do. Just stand and holler Mordecai and I'll bring help to you. Give me my freedom or I'll spit in your eye. Give me my freedom or I'll spit in your eye. I have a niece named Esther. She's a very pretty thing. You know by now the Persian king has given her a ring. So since those two are man and wife, a different song I sing that I am Mordecai related to the king. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Don't you love a happy ending? Don't you think I would have made a great Queen Esther? Oh, they'll probably give the part to that Meryl Streep broad. Or maybe that tacky Barbara Streisand. So anyway, King Ahasuerus and Queen Esther are in love and together dancing cheek to cheek. And every day, Esther sits on Uncle Mordecai's lap and she says to him,
Uncle Mordecai, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
and Mordecai says to Esther,
Here's looking at you, kid.
and Vashti has become rich from franchising her oat bran Humantaschen store. Believe it? Oh, and she became the Queen of France, where she said,
Let him eat oat bran, Humantaschen.
and the wise men spent every day at the races and every night at the opera.
That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard.
Hey, wise man, why don't you come on up in the city sometimes?
Yeah, but first we gotta sing the closing number.
We're recapitulating it, and Stephen
gentlemen, before we close, we would like to thank some people who are really responsible for making this happen. We're going to do it a little bit differently this year.
Ellen that put us on music. Alan Seeger is our band. Beverly Hankin told us what to wear. Ellen Roth told us where to stand. Every show has a producer, director, writer, and best boy. Norman Roth is all agrees.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you. I love it. Thank you. Please, I'm going to ask the junior choir, who are fantastic, to stand up and face you and take a hand. And Ernie Strauss wrote that wonderful tune, the Yankee Doodle, thanking everybody. Ernie, he an awful hater, he was terrible. But he forgot to thank the most important element here. So let's all thank together the audience. Now, you all know what Ellen Math is dressed as tonight? Bugs Bunny. If this is the Megillah according to Hollywood, what does Bugs Bunny do at the end of a cartoon?
Use your imagination. I'm Porky Pig. That's all, folks.
Costumes are dangerous. Now, are you going to tell them about the parade, kids?
Don't forget, we're going to parade around, and then if you go out the back, we've got wonderful, wonderful, wonderful for you. So pick up your very special prize, all of you young people that are in costume. You grown-ups that are in costume, don't forget we've got a very special prize for you as well. Bob, where do we have the grown-ups prize? Bob? Right here, right out there, out this door. But the children's prizes are out all three doors, right? All three doors. And what? They come around, then go out that way. A little marching music, Maestro, if you please. Downstairs. Don't forget downstairs.